Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today we have Paschal and Vernon, and they are going to tell us their story and their journey as to how one ended up in the NFL and one continued in rugby. If you guys wanted to introduce yourself, you can go ahead.
Hey everyone, my name is Paschal Ekeji. I'm a defensive end for the New York Jets. And yeah, I think that's it for the intro for now. I grew up in South Africa. I was born in Lesotho. I grew up playing rugby and transitioned to football very recently. So yeah, looking forward to chat about that on the show.
Yeah, how's it guys? My name is Vernon. Born and raised in Harare, Zimbabwe. Made my way to South Africa at the age of 13. And yeah, been playing rugby since the southern South Africa. Currently based in Cape Town, playing for the DHL Stormers.
Do you want to talk about that really quick? Like how difficult it is for Zimbabwean players to break into the South African rugby systems?
It's very hard, and I think the Zimbabwe the schoolboy system is very good. So I think each year being involved in a Craven Week, there's under 13 Craven Week, there's an under 16 team that's involved in the Grand Coma Week, there's another 18 team that's involved with the Academy Week as well. So I think each year there's a couple Zim kids that are chosen to come this side. But then to make it this side is a bit harder because not only do you need to be good enough, I think you also need lots of luck. And I think you definitely need God on your side because it takes a lot to make it in South Africa because every kid that plays rugby in South Africa dreams of playing it professionally. So you're competing with the pool here is quite a lot. But I think, I wouldn't say there's anything that I can pinpoint to say what would make a Zim kid make it here in South Africa, but yeah.
Okay, speaking of that, how did you both get into rugby?
Paschal?
Well, I grew up playing rugby. I grew up in a town called Vicksburg, so it's in the Free State of South Africa. The Free State is Boereland, to put it in a South African way. So, all the kids pretty much played rugby. At my primary school, I used to do track, and I used to want to play soccer. I'm a Nigerian kid, so my parents are both Nigerian. So, I grew up thinking, one day I'm going to play for the Super Eagles or do some kind of soccer stuff. And I was in grade 4, I think. So I was 11. And then we did house athletics. And then some of the Afrikaans boys came to me after like, yes, Paschal, jy's vinnig. Jy moet kom rugby speel. So that means, Paschal, you're fast. You should come play rugby. And I said, no, you guys want to hurt me. And then, long story short, they talked me into it. I started playing. I had so much fun. I just catch the ball and run around. I wouldn't run straight. I just run to the sideline and just try to go around anyone. If I got tackled, whoop-de-doo. But I just try to go around people. And that's how I started playing rugby, and I fell in love with it. And then, from that point on, I couldn't really, you couldn't separate me from rugby ball. Played some primary school rugby there, Vicksburg. Got a scholarship to Wittenberg High School, which is about an hour drive from where I lived. So I went to boarding school when I was 13. And then played Grand Como for the Griffins. And from there, I got a scholarship to go to Great College, which is about 2.5 hours from home. So I transferred to that school, finished up my high school there. And then, a bunch of other stuff happened to get to a certain level. I think those early years taught me a lot of things that I think have helped me in just my journey in sport, in professional sport. Like Vern said, you need a lot of grace and favor and luck to make it in professional sport because it's so competitive. But I think knowing how to do things the right way definitely helps you and gives you a better chance of succeeding. I mean, it doesn't guarantee success, but it allows you to give yourself the best shot to succeed. Knowing how to take care of your body, knowing how to approach certain things, knowing how to deal with the mental side of whatever sport you're playing, knowing how to work hard as well. I mean, that's something that I think has transferred into my life in other areas for sure.
Yeah, and Vernon, how'd you end up at Northwood?
I started playing rugby, similar time like grade 10. As a 10-year-old, I used to also play soccer, love soccer. Started playing rugby in grade 4. Grade 5, moved schools to Alex Park in Zim. It was a better rugby playing school. And that's when I started excelling in rugby, playing provincial teams. I played in my grade 6 year, I played Harare South, grade 7 Harare North. Went to the interprovincial tournament, and you're playing rugby with top athletes, kids at the private schools and stuff. So you're feeling okay, I can actually do something with this. And kind of that's where my dream for playing professional sport kind of started growing more and more. And when I was under 13, I made the Zim under 13 Craven side that came to South Africa in Mpumalanga for the Craven Week, and there I got given a scholarship to Durban, to Northwood, and yeah, started my grade 8 2016, finished grade 8 to matric at Northwood, and then 2020 was a bit tricky, COVID year. We didn't really get to play much rugby. We only played like 2 games, but fortunately I was able to get a bursary to study a Bachelor of Accounting through Stellenbosch University, where I studied from 2021 to 2024.
That's awesome. So how did you two meet each other?
We met for the first, I always knew about Paschal, like he's one of the biggest guys. You will notice Paschal, you know what I mean? So I always knew about Paschal, and then I remember 2018, yes, when we were under 16, we both got included in the SA Ekeji camp, elite player development camp, Saru's elite player development camp. And at that camp, I think that was the first time officially meeting. And then in our matric year, I saw like we had the same agency, and I saw they posted that Paschal got signed a contract with Western Province and also got a scholarship to Stellenbosch. And at that time, I was also contemplating like, should I go to Stellenbosch or UCT? Eventually, I did sign the bursary with Stellenbosch, and then we started speaking a lot more. And then when we got to university, in our second year, actually, we were roommates in university.
Yeah, that's the story. We met at the EPD camp for the first time. And then, as I remember that recruiting process at the end of matric, like we were speaking a lot back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, yo, like, how do you think it is here? Like, what do you think we should go? And then we ended up both going there. And honestly, I'm a huge believer in everything happens for a reason. Friend's been a blessing in my life. He's like literally become a brother to me. So like, yeah, we spend a lot of time together. We drive to practice together at Western Province and drive back, and we go see games together. Like we just do a bunch of cool stuff together, and then obviously share the field together. And the Varsity Cup, which was also pretty sick, and for Western Province under 21s and under 20s. But yeah, it was special.
Yeah, how important is that to you guys? You know, having teammates that you know have your back. You know, the guys you can think of more as brothers than just a teammate. You know, do you think that speaks to the level of play that you guys could be at, like the level that each of you are able to excel to?
I've played in many teams. I've played with many players, and as Paschal said, like it's like a brotherhood. Like he's become a brother. Like he lives across the world now, and he's still in contact. These guys I've played at the Stormers or Western Province or Marty's, whatever it is. Some connections you can't replicate, or you can't make that because you're playing at a higher level. Yeah, me and Paschal, like because we faced similar struggles, like he's also not South African, I'm not South African, trying to make it professionally in South Africa. He went to school at an Afrikaans school, I went to an English school, but facing similar challenges coming into Stellenbosch. And, you know, at the time when we came into university, Paschal had a contract and I didn't have a contract, and relying, like him just motivating me, saying, actually, like, look, you're good enough to be here. You know, it's just a matter of some people maybe got there earlier than you, but you're definitely going to get there. So yeah, as I said, certain relationships you can't like replicate that. I've played with many people, and there is no friend I can call a brother like that. So yeah, it's quite hard to replicate.
Doesn't make me shed a tear. I'm crying. But yeah, like Vern's hit it on the head. Like really, when I say that's my brother, that's literally my brother. I remember there would be games we'd be playing, and I'm a wing, so I could be on the open side, far side, and then there's a scrum, and then after the scrum there's a scuffle, and I see and I'll run across the field and I'll get involved there just because it's Vern. Literally, just because it's Vern. I even remember there was a Varsity Cup game. I think Vern scored. So it was the first try of the season against Booker at home.
Yes, I remember.
And he scored a try, and I sprinted from where I was, and I just was like in his ear shouting like, let's go. Let's go. You know, he's like, it's just, and he's such a great person. He's a great guy. he's walked a long path, man, and this person is someone who's really faced real life challenges. And so when you see how well he carries that weight, it's inspiring, and you wonder why. Well, I want to get close to this guy. I want to learn from this guy. I want to, get some of that stuff in me as well. So, great person, lovely human being, really. And he's also a great rugby player. When people were not seeing the vision, I'm not a rugby savant or anything. But I'm like,
You can
you
see
guys,
it.
you guys y'all don't see this. I'm like, y'all don't see this. So always rooting for my boy and hoping and praying for his success.
Yeah.
That's amazing. There is something that I admire about you guys that's amazing. Something that almost every single kid struggles with is balancing sports and education. And you guys having managed to succeed, that is amazing. Can you tell us what's your secret? Because out here we're struggling. How did you guys manage to go about with both? And why was it so important to get both to be such a success?
Okay. Growing up in a Nigerian home, my parents were always anal about education. They were always like, I remember I told my mom, I'm going to be a Springbok. When they were Springbok, she was like, okay, go and read your book. Have you done your homework? Have you read your book? I'm like, okay, mom, I'll go read my book. So that was the mentality that they had. And I thank God that they had that mentality, because I know I wouldn't have personally taken an interest in my own education. I would have been like, bro, I'm going to make it, but I'm not doing this school stuff. But because they pushed me, it pushed me to be like, okay, let me take this seriously. So yeah, just working hard at it, in high school, and then getting to uni. I think this is very important. And people who are going to uni, you guys need to find people who take academics seriously and hang with those people. Bro, I remember my first year was horrible. Halfway my first year was horrible. I remember the first half of my first year at uni, I remember I get to halfway in the year, and our head coach, Kabamba, he calls myself and Vernon, one of our other friends, he calls us for a meeting, a one-on-one meeting. I'm thinking, what's this guy going to talk about? And then he's like, Vern, you're doing amazing. Keep going, you're doing good. Paschal, you're not going to be here long if you keep doing this stuff. I'm like, bro, what do you mean? And he's telling me about my grades, and I was like, bro, your grades are not looking. I was like, okay, bet. I felt so bad. I was like, because I don't like being chewed out. So I'm like, nah, you know what? I'm gonna take my academics seriously. From that day, I remember I started hanging with Vern. I'd be like, Vern, when are you studying? When you're studying for me, I'm coming to study with you, bro. Made sure I attended my lectures, no matter how hard it was with training times. At days when I would miss all my lectures because of rugby. Because sometimes with Western Province, I would have to train morning till late afternoon, so I'd miss all my lectures. I'd come back home and actually try and go through the day's work. So being intentional about that, and then, yeah, pretty much having a hard nose. I remember there would be times in the exam season I'd be losing weight because I would be sitting in the study center from morning till late night, just sitting in the study center. And then, they just paid off. But yeah, definitely surround yourself with people who will take academics seriously, ask questions, go to your lectures, and then, yeah, spend time. ABC, apply a bum to chair. That's something they used to tell me. So yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I've
How
never.
you, Vernon?
For me, I think academics don't, numbers come naturally to me. That's why I studied accounting. Accounting isn't just numbers, you have to study auditing, management accounting, tax. There's all those things. When I got to university, I thought okay, it's going to be, I knew it's not going to be a walk in the park. And also my mom always tells me never forget where you come from. Never forget why you're there. You out of university to get a degree. So I'm there, and I know that I'm not coming from a privileged background. So I have to, if I'm coming to study here for free or on a rugby bursary, I need to come out with a degree. It's not always easy. I had to tag it out lots of the time. If you see my academic transcript, it's full of these, but still we made it. We tagged it out. So I think Paschal maybe selling himself short, saying he wasn't Paschal in first year, obviously he struggled. Yeah, I think anyone who goes to Stellenbosch in your first year coming from Bloem, I think your eyes are going to be a bit wide open. But it's the harder it got, because as you get first year, second year, third year, fourth year, it obviously gets harder. With Paschal, it was the opposite. For some people, first year they're getting 70s, 80s, and by fourth year they're getting 40s, 50s. With Paschal, it was the opposite. First year he was 50s. By the time he got to fourth year, he had 5.8, which doesn't make sense because his rugby commitments also got more and more and more. So I think yeah, as he said, when he took his academic seriously, it really showed. Like he had lots of cums on his degree, like on even when he got into his honors program, like it seemed like a lot easier for him the harder it got. But it just speaks to kind of his character. But for me, I would say like making it like trying to study both academics and also make it professionally, like in sports, it's not easy. I wouldn't say I know the answer. Even now, if I had to do it again, I probably would struggle again because it's not an easy thing to do. So yeah, just God's grace. God just carried me through those periods because I've got friends that only studied but still didn't get a degree. So how I got it whilst I was playing sport, I don't know. To be honest with you, I did work hard, but there's also people that do work hard as well. So I think God's grace really did carry me through that period. But also, as Paschal said, surrounding yourself with the right people, making sure that you attend your lectures. If you do miss a lecture, make sure you catch it up. And yeah, just tagging it out, I think, yeah.
Thank you, guys. I'll push that on to the other kids because these kids are here.
Yeah.
I'm one of those kids. You know?
You're giving them awesome advice. I would love to hear a bit more about your time at Monty's. When you were playing together, who was your toughest opponent, would you say?
Toughest opponent, I think maybe from a forwards point of view, I always found Puka, Northwest University, they always had a big pack. Their forwards were quite massive. So you knew like Monday night, if you're playing Puka, it's going to be lots of scrums, lots of mauls. It's going to be quite challenging up front. Yeah, I would say that was quite challenging. I know the UCT boys would like to think it was them, but yeah, no. Yeah, but I'm not sure from a backline point of view. I'm not sure. I think Shimla's they always came with like conventional stuff. They always had, you play them and they have like a 2-man line out or whatever it is that they always, even if they're in their own 22, they throw the ball around. So maybe from a back's point of view, that might have been a bit more challenging. But I think from my own point of view, from a forward, I think Puka was quite tough. I don't know what you think, Paschal.
Yeah, no, I agree with Vern. UCT was always peanuts. Joking. Now, UCT is a good team, for sure. But I think that the tough teams would be a Puka game or Shimla's game away, especially when you're playing Shimla's in Bloom.
Yeah.
The air is thin. Guys you're struggling to breathe, and it's a fast-paced game like Vern said. They'll throw the lineouts in quickly or take quick taps because they don't want to give you that extra time to rest. Yeah, Shimla's away is definitely a tough game, and also being unconventional, willing to run from anywhere. They almost kind of play like a brand of rugby similar to like Western Province, if you think about it. Like they play free-flowing ball, which is pretty nice to watch. But yeah, I'd say those two teams. And then also their pack is usually also pretty solid, strong guys. That if you miss the shoulder, you can be on a highlight. You can be on a highlight reel.
So I heard about Paschal, your knee injury, and I feel like it was a tough time for you when you went through that knee injury. And since Vernon was your brother, I want to hear how he felt whilst you're going through that, how he saw how you're going through that. Then I want to hear your side. But first, Vernon.
No, I think I've always known like Paschal was destined for greatness, if that makes sense. I've always known like he's destined for something big, and because you see it in the way he works hard, you see it in the way he prays, you see it in the way his parents show up for him, his siblings. He's a good guy, and so when he hurt his knee, at first they were telling him, look, I think he hurt it literally a week before the first game, and they were telling him look, we can inject this thing and you can play, don't worry, don't opt, don't do this. And at first, he was down for it and he was doing everything he can to get back. And I think that knee injury ended up keeping him out of rugby for over a year, close to 2 years, I think. It was quite a long time. And to be honest, during that process, obviously it was frustrating for him. But Paschal was always a guy with a smile on his face, always, showing that he's brave. He's never trying to, put any burden on anyone. And I think also in that time, that's when his academics also started boosting because he couldn't rely on sport. He only had to do his rehab and his studies. But I think I wouldn't say he was like always sad or anything like that. He was always smiling and stuff. Like you would see Paschal on campus and you're like, bro, you're on crutches. He's like, yeah, I walked. And she's like, how? Like, it's not like it's 500 meters. It's like probably like 2 or 3 Ks, maybe at 2 Ks to get to campus. And so he did, he soldiered on. So yeah, I always knew he was going to come back stronger from that.
Yeah, that injury was I learned a lot about myself in that time, I think, and I changed a lot also as a human being internally. But like, yeah, I just tried to soldier on. I don't know. I'm someone who I can't let myself quit or give up. And even if I do at night, one night, maybe I give up. By the time I wake up in the morning, I'm back on the train. I'm ready to go. Like I'm that kind of. That's just how I kind of am. I don't know. So like when I got hurt, initially I remember I thought I'd be back in the season in the Varsity Cup season. That was not the case. And then I thought I'd be back for some of the Western Province and the 21 stuff. That was not the case. And I thought I'd be back for some Curry Cup stuff. Like everything was kind of, yeah. And it was during a contract year for Western Province. So I really wanted to get on the field to like improve my stocks to re-sign. But that wasn't God's plan. So that didn't happen. Very happy it went that way though, because I really learned a lot of stuff. Vern said, my academics went up in that time because, I was able to parlay the same energy I had with my rugby into my academics. Even like, just figuring out dark feelings on your own or in that time. It's really something that helps you as a person if you take it the right way, I think. And I also had really good people around me supporting me. Vern always checking on me. I had a bunch of other friends who would always try and reach out and make sure I was okay mentally or emotionally. Having that, that is also really important. But yeah, it was a really not so great time, but good time. And something that I think was 1,000% necessary for my later success. Or just my later development. I feel like even how I take care of my body, totally different from before I got hurt to now. Like the way I take care of my body now is very different. The way I understand how the body works, how sports science works. I remember I became a nerd. I'll be on YouTube, like researching how knees work, how this muscle prevents that injury, and how I studying that kind of stuff. And now I know quite a few things about like sports science, and that helps me. So I'm thankful that challenge came my way.
That is such a positive way to look at it, and I love it. I definitely will out-nerd you when it comes to body parts. But hey, that's another topic for another day. But yes, thank you guys so much for your time. And is there any last words that you'd like to say for the little boys and girls growing up and wanting to be in the position you're in?
I think for me, I think that from the first question you asked, like as a kid that grew up in Zimbabwe, I grew up in a neighborhood called Cranbourne. If some of you guys know it, I didn't grow up with everything lined up in front of me. Like it's obvious you're gonna play for the Stormers, or it's obvious you're gonna go study at Stellenbosch University. But I think, God's grace has really carried me. Always believing that, God has a specific plan for my life. And like Paschal was saying just now, like with the knee injury, he's glad it happened because it wasn't part of God's plan for him to play in that Varsity Cup season or whatever it is. So just a message I would say to young guys chasing their dreams is a message that I'm still preaching to myself today, to just keep believing, because every day you're going to be thrown obstacles in your face to try not to believe, so that you think you're not going to make it. But if it's part of God's plan, just keep believing, because God has placed that dream in your heart for a reason. And I just think, just keep believing in that dream, because it's possible. It's happened for many people before, and it's going to happen for many people long after we're gone. So
Yeah, I think it's what I would say is very similar to what Vern is saying in belief. Like if you're coming from difficult circumstances, even if you're not coming from difficult circumstances, if you're aspiring to do something that's great, something that hasn't been done before maybe, or something that's been done very seldomly, you're going to face a lot of challenges and a lot of adversity. And it's important how you frame and how you view that adversity and those challenges, because if you frame it as something that is going to beat you or not allow you to succeed, it's likely going to do that. But if you frame it and view it as something that, I sometimes frame adversity as confirmation that I'm going to succeed in what I'm trying to achieve. So how you frame and how you view adversity is really important. And then you need to believe, bro. Like, you need to believe before anyone else believes. You need to believe that you're going to do this thing before some scout believes in you, or some coach believes in you, or some teacher believes in you, or some school accepts you. You need to believe that you are capable of achieving that which, God has placed on your heart or on your mind, on your spirit. And then I think walking in confidence, but in humility at the same time. Obviously, I'm a Christian and I believe in Jesus Christ. And I understand that for me to even reap fruit from whatever labor I make is a blessing from God. So that keeps me humble and keeps me grounded. And that allows me to keep on working, even if, whatever happens, I still am able to work. So I just say, if I had to round it up, believe, frame your adversity, and then do things the right way. Trust in God, be humble, do the nitty-gritty stuff, and you have a better chance of succeeding than if you're taking shortcuts and trying to get the easy way. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you guys for having us. Really enjoyed the chat.